Another disappointing draw, another mad game in London, another game where we couldn't really keep hold of the ball or control the ball, and ultimately it cost us. I mean, even when we were 2-0 up, it felt like a very strange 2-0, didn't feel like a very secure 2-0. As I said, Chelsea were able to do whatever they wanted. They seemed to be able to have avenues towards our goal at will. But we have some fantastic forwards and they did their bit. Salah and Mane both blessed us with a present before going off to Africa. Both of them felt that they needed to make amends for what happened in the Leicester game, and they did. I mean, Salah's goal, how does he keep doing that? I mean, you know what he wants to do, and yet he finds a new way of making them look stupid. Unfortunately, as I said, we couldn't hold on. Kovacic scores a worldie. He played very well. Kante played very well, as he always does against us. I mean, after the last game, I was very bullish. Very, very bullish. It's going to be tough from here.
Well, God damn it, that was a big bag of shite. I felt as soon as they went down to 10 men, this could happen, because I don't like the way we play against 10 men. I feel like that happens far too often. We get sucked into the middle and we don't use the width well. As when Nico Williams came on, you could see the difference he made. He used the width a lot better and we looked a lot more dangerous in that period. But, I mean, the team was wrong, the approach was wrong, everything was wrong. Trent played like someone who'd just come back from COVID. Thankfully, Alisson didn't, and he saved us in that one moment. But yes, I'm now watching in the background Arsenal players and supporters celebrating. I'm so glad this is 2 legs. We get to put that right and go there and win. Because don't get me twisted, we can go there and win. Arsenal are unbeatable. Far from that. We beat ourselves today because it felt like a defeat, even though it was actually 0-0.
Well, that was a lot more like it. I mean, we had to fight through that first half. It was almost like we had to refine our form. We were fighting through the funk a little bit. But to be honest, even in that first half, most of the mistakes were our own making. Most of the trouble came from us giving the ball away. It wasn't really Brentford creating anything. Then we get the goal just before half-time. Everyone settles down. The intensity comes up in the second half. We were much better on the ball. I feel like Curtis was the catalyst for most of what we did good. Most of the time he was the one going against the grain, trying to find the extra space, trying to find that little bit more pressing and passing. But we got some pretty good goals in the end, and it was comfortable. It was enjoyable towards the end there, in a way that it hasn't really been in some of the last couple of games. Those fifth bumps at the end from Jurgen had a bit more intensity because he knows, he's seen his team again. He hasn't seen it for a couple of games. So I'm happy, the boss is happy, and so should you be. So, turns out Arsenal were a little bit premature when they were celebrating at the end of the first leg. Almost as if us winning at their place was just as likely as us winning at our place. The boys turned up tonight. They all did their jobs properly and it showed out there on the pitch. Arsenal, they put a bit of fight into it. The crowd got behind them and you could tell they were buoyed on a little bit. But it was only really Martinelli who was any kind of danger to us. And Kelleher at the back did absolutely everything asked of him. Such another composed performance. That kid's going to go far. Obviously, we've got to talk about Trent and Jota, who are becoming just a lethal combination. But the point is that when Salah and Mane away, we were wondering who was going to step up. I had a feeling it was going to be Diogo Jota. We have a lethal finisher in our team still, despite the fact that Mo Salah and Sadio Mane are miles away. And he proved it tonight. He was the man who stepped up and took us through to Wembley. And watch out, Chelsea, because I think we want to win this trophy. I think it's important to remember Liverpool actually won that game, because I think a lot of focus is probably going to be on the things we didn't do well rather than the things we did do well. But that beginning part, that first half an hour, 35 minutes, was really fantastic. It was exactly what we wanted to see off the back of the momentum built from the Arsenal game. But then it all just flipped on its head. And I don't know what exactly it was. Was it us being sloppy? Yes. Was it Palace improving? I think also yes. I think you have to give Palace a bit of credit on that score. But
we kind of get out of jail a little bit with the penalty. I know, again, that's probably going to be debated up and down, but I think it's one of those where if it went against us, we'd probably be a little bit upset. So I can see why Palace would be upset. I'd have quite liked us to held out for the 2-1 and take a bit of, belief from that fact, but I'm not sure if we would have done. At the end of the day, we got 3 points, on to the next one. So, not exactly the greatest game in the world, but Liverpool won the game. I had a feeling we may see this. We are always rusty after a little bit of a break, and we did see a lot of that, particularly in the first half. But then Jota slots that one in the 4th minute, and the game's completely different. I had some friends who were quite concerned on the old WhatsApp at half-time, but I never was. I think Cardiff and Liverpool both knew what was going to happen, and from when we got our first goal, the game just clicked into where we expected it to be. So much to get excited about in that second half. Obviously, the sight of Luis Diaz coming in, instantly making an impact, winning the ball, and then laying on the assist for Minamino, and then obviously Harvey Elliott with his banger, like Robbo's been calling for. So yeah, a win into the next round. Hopefully, we will be able to get through against Norwich as well. Then we're in the quarterfinals of another cup. Up the fucking Reds.
Yes, what a win that was. I must admit, when we're sitting here, you're thinking it's more tense than it is, but really, it was comfortable. We scored after half an hour, the perfect time in the game. Then Leicester had their period of a little bit of dominance, but they never really got close to the goal. I don't think Alisson had a save to make. Of our slot, Thiago, oh my God, I was drooling all game. And Jota, he's doing more than scoring goals now. He's involved in everything. He's playing fantastically well. 2-0, can't get any better than that.
A scruffy 1-0 win at Burnley from a set piece. It just feels kind of fitting, really, doesn't it? It was one of those games that was not pretty to watch. It was a bit of a dog, and that's not just because my streams are really shit. But Liverpool did what they had to do. They knew what they had to do coming into this ground. They've seen it many times before. The ball's going to be up in the air, swirling around in the wind. They're going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to control the second balls, and they did that really well. I thought that Fabinho obviously was fantastic. He scored the winning goal. But Keita, I thought alongside him, was really good too. Have to give a shout out for Alisson as well. There were times when they got through, but every single time he was there to stop them, even when they were already offside. But yeah, another win ticked off, another win closer to our hopeful target of Manchester City.
Now, that was a European away performance. It was tough, it was tense. Inter Milan played really well. They had a game plan, and for the first 55 minutes, it worked. But Liverpool are relentless at the moment, and don't let anyone tell you set pieces aren't important. This is why you practice set pieces week in, week out. This is the second game in a row that we've won with our set pieces. I want to give a shout out to both our centre backs, Virgil and Canate, despite what some people in here seem to think. Two fantastic players, and the basis of all that was good today. Yeah, it was a tough game. Like I said, Inter are allowed to play well, but we got the job done. 2 goals, a goal for Mo. Glad to see him back in the goals. Hopefully this will be the start of him kicking on again. But hey, we cannot ask for more than that. 2-0, lovely job. Well, that was an abject lesson in the fact that football matches last 90 minutes. So Norwich came, they did well, they took all advantage of having no game for a whole week to come and plan, and they got in amongst us, they made it difficult. We were a little bit sloppy, a little bit tired, particularly first half, but hey, we've all been talking about this squad depth. Once again, guys came off the bench, immediately we got the goals. But I want to talk about this atmosphere in here, honestly. When that first one went in and we were roaring the second one in, it felt like a European game here tonight. And for a 3 o'clock on Saturday against Norwich, I think that's worth mentioning. Also worth mentioning, Virgil van Dijk, again, I mean, there was some who were saying earlier in the season that he was kind of taking a bit of a backseat, letting Joel do most of the defending. These last couple of weeks, none of it. He has taken centre stage, and he's showing everybody exactly what it means to have a guy that solid at the back. But yeah, another win. Reds keep rolling on. I'm inside it. Do you need more than that? Oh well, okay, well, it was
Come on, the boys.
It was a great game. No, it was fucking stressful. Like, it's meant to be the League Cup. It's meant to be the calm one. We don't care about this. Tell me we don't care about this one more time. Those lads,
The trophy in the bag.
I tell you what, those lads absolutely cared. Every single one of them. Like, first half was difficult. Neither team looked like they were going to take their chances. And then obviously, I'm still a bit pissed off that Matip isn't the hero because that goal should have been a fucking goal. But
Borderline decision.
I tell you, we rode our luck a bit in the second half with all the offsides, but some of them changes didn't really work. Jota still looked like he was a little bit coming back from injury, but every single one of them who finished on that pitch scored a pen, and their shit-ass keeper who came on just for penalties didn't work out very well for him, did it? Exactly, backfired like an old fucking Skoda. So yeah, Liverpool won, part one of the quadruple in the can. Here we fucking go. So, Liverpool are in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. They beat Norwich again, although this time we didn't score 3 goals. We didn't need to score 3 goals. It was a comfortable game. It really was. Lots of positives for me. Curtis Jones in the first half was fantastic. Hope he's not too badly injured. It's just a little knock. Obviously, Taki, I'm so pleased. Like I said on Twitter, these are the games that we need him to be firing in. These are the most important games for him in terms of where he's at in our squad. And he's there and he's won the game for us. Fantastic. I'm not going to overreact to the last 20 minutes where Norwich scored and it got a little bit tight because they were the last 20 minutes, so it's easy to overreact. But at the end of the day, we got the job done. The reason we turned down the motor is because we have bigger fish to fry and other fish to fry on Saturday against West Ham. So yeah, in the hat, it's all that matters. Another game that was closer than it should have been, but another game that will be forgotten very soon because we won it, and that's the most important thing. West Ham, well, they didn't have Declan Rice, they didn't have Jared Bowen halfway through, but they didn't have much of a plan either. They were just here to kind of knock us out of our stride, play dirty football, and look for a way on the counter or something. But we were really, really good defensively for the majority of this game. It just felt like the longer we didn't score that second, it started to get more nervous. Starts to get more sloppy, but the Reds are really good at holding out these days. The nil score is coming a lot more often than it used to. I want to give a shout out to Robbo, who was fantastic. Kanate was fantastic. Diaz obviously as well, and a shout out to Mane too. Like, he was getting a bit of stick from the lads around me here, but he's looking better as a 9 in every game. And let's not forget, he was literally the match winner tonight. So another 3 points. Do something with that, Man City. So, Liverpool lose, but Liverpool win. It feels weird. It feels weird. Like, that wasn't the greatest game we've ever played, and these lot around me are absolutely sick of me going on about the win, but it really did make a difference in all what we were trying to do. We dogged it out. Inter were their gnarly selves. They looked like they had a plan once again. They got around bad first half. But I thought that Trent was really good in this game. I thought that we did enough. We created chances that on another day we would have scored and won, but we went through. And look, if there's going to be a game where we lose and we don't score, this was the game to do it, because it didn't matter, because we're still through. Up the fucking Reds. Even now, in the immediate aftermath, that feels like a massive win. Now, I didn't watch the first half, I had to listen to it on the radio, but it sounded like Arsenal had the better of the game. We took a while to get going, and then in the beginning of the second half, once again, Arsenal put us under pressure. We were able to hold out, and then we went down the other end and did our thing. And to be honest with you, what I saw of this game, it went pretty much exactly as I expected it to. I mean, anyone who saw what I said on the preview show, pretty much all of it happened. Like, Arsenal are playing well, they're playing better, but they still haven't beaten anyone good. And you could tell by the way that they reacted once we scored. And the way that we went about scoring those 2 goals as well. Diogo Jota, I mean, you can call it a mistake from Ramsdale, but he still had to put the ball in there. And Firmino, like, we literally had him in bubble wrap ready for his favourite opponent, Arsenal, and he went out and did the business. But as I said, this is a massive, massive win. This is the game in hand, and we got it won. 9 in a row now, and you know what? We all know that City are shitting themselves.
So Liverpool didn't win, but Liverpool are through to the Champions League semi-finals, which is really all we care about. Another game that got nervy towards the end. The whole offside line is going to be taking up loads more chat and column inches, I imagine. But it looked like a back line who hadn't played together that much, and maybe that's where some of those mistakes came from. But also, I've got to say, despite all of that, all of the nerves and all of those parts, they never got within 2 goals of us. They managed to get back to level pegging, and they never looked like they were going to overturn their deficit. So we got the job done. That's all that was needed. And look, I'm sitting here watching what's going on in Madrid and how City are being basically torn from limb for limb just to get through to the semi-finals, and I'm feeling very comfortable about the way we did it tonight. We managed to rest a lot of our top guys. Obviously, the defence got rested entirely. Some of the forwards came on and looked a bit brighter as well. I want to give a shout out to Costas Tsimikas because he was fantastic. He was my man of the match tonight. Obviously, Firmino got his goals, but yeah, Costas I thought was fantastic tonight. We're in the semi-finals. We've got another one of those on Saturday. Let's see if we can win that too.
Hey! Liverpool are in the FA Cup final. That was a mad game. Like, I went in at half-time happy we were 3-0 up, but it wasn't a perfect performance from us. It really wasn't. Like, we were struggling to get the ball to our forwards, except when we scored. And then they obviously come out second half and score straight away. But they never really tested us. I mean, Pep Guardiola will have all the questions to answer about this game. But Liverpool came here to win. Man City didn't. You look at that team. You look at the way that they played in the first half and he didn't change it. They don't care about the FA Cup. But look at this. We absolutely care about the FA Cup. We're going to win all 4, baby. On to another one.
Yeah, so Liverpool beat Man United 4-0. Kind of easy, really. Like, really easy. Like, as easy as we all knew it was going to be. I mean, you saw the team they put out. I don't know what they were thinking. But, gladly, we didn't give them a sniff. We did what we needed to do. We came out of the blocks. We scored 2 early goals, controlled the game. Of course, there's that period second half where we're trying to conserve energy. The passing went a little bit astray. And then we remembered how terrible they were and thought, let's just start attacking them again. And we did, and we scored more goals. I love the fact that all of the front 3 got a goal and an assist. Mo back in the scoring zone again, looking like himself again. Everything's rosy in our world. Just thinking about Man City watching that game. All the best on Wednesday, lads.
Liverpool got the win. They got the job done eventually. Everybody's happy, but fuck me. That was a hard game. The first hour was awful. We tried to win the game in second gear. Can't do that against these. You've got to bring intensity. It's a fucking derby. Everton, they were well drilled. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. The ref let them get away with murder because he's absolutely weak-willed. But we got the job done. We had to bring on Lord Divock. He had to come on and do his thing. But in all seriousness, we changed the way we play when he was on, and that's what we needed. We got more space for our attackers to get the ball, and we got 2 goals, and we got another win. And you know what? We're sending them cunts to the championship. What a win! What a night! The Reds have got it again. 2-0 against Villarreal. It was a game that kind of how I expected it to be. Villarreal, they were structured well. They did what they were expecting to do, but we just wore them down. We just kept going. The crowd was immense tonight. It was such a great atmosphere, and the lads got the job done. Henderson obviously getting the first goal, and then that second goal from Sadio. Sadio's the man for the big goals at the moment, and the let-off around here, that roar that just went around for minutes and minutes after 2-0. I'm never going to forget that, I'll tell you. Now, I'd have liked another goal. I'm not going to lie, I'm greedy, but it looks like we should be well in enough time to go out there and do the job and finish the job and get to Paris. On to the next one.
Fucking hell. Genuinely, they're unreal. They really are. I mean, Liverpool, they've done it. They've got to the 3rd final of the season, and this one is the big one. Champions League final. I mean, I mean, everyone's going to say the same thing, aren't they? It was a game of 2 halves. Oh, I mean, fuck me. I haven't seen us play as bad as we did in the first half in a long, long while. We were shook. And I mean, really shook in a way that worried me because everybody was affected. I was thinking it was going to be a big half-time from Klopp. And in a way, sorry, I'm watching Sadio just celebrate. Oh, I love that man. In a way, I'm really glad that Klopp didn't take off Keita at half-time because he was part of the stabilisation process. That first 15 minutes where we stabilised it was really important because then, when Diaz came on, that's when we were ready to go. And I mean, we're a very good team with lots of good players, but the ability of that man to make everybody just look like themselves again was unbelievable. It wasn't just that he was the outball, he was just terrifying them at all points. But yes, he got his goal, Fab got a goal, Sadio got another one for the Ballon d'Or portfolio, and yeah, anyone going to Paris, holla at your boy. But yeah, that was the all action, all goals semi-final, so that means the other one's going to be a straightforward 2-0 home win, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Tottenham. Their plan works. They came to sit back, defend, and then spring, and they did it. They did it really well. For a long time, they didn't do it well, but they only needed to do it well a few times. For us, it just wasn't clicking today. It really wasn't. Our right sides, poor. Well, I wouldn't say no. Poor sounds harsh, but essentially poor's what it was. Both Trent and Mo couldn't get it going. I mean, Trent's crossing today was particularly bad, and when you add all those things up, we just didn't find that magic moment we needed to get the goal. I mean, the atmosphere was fantastic. It was a bear pit. We were all really, really giving it. But sometimes that's not enough. I mean, I'm disappointed. I'm clearly disappointed. But it's hard to be too harsh on them because they're still our fucking boys, aren't they? Anyway, come on, Newcastle.
Liverpool won. Just about. And it was weird because, again, it was a really, really bad start. We looked very sloppy and on ourselves. The first half maybe looked like the games are starting to catch up with us a little bit in the first half, but once again we were able to dig deep and find a way out. We can't say that Aston Villa didn't help us. They were making just as many mistakes as we were in that game, and I always felt that if we sorted ourselves out, we'll be able to beat them, and we did. And their energy fell off a cliff, and as it did, we were able to pick them apart. Obviously Thiago coming on and Henson coming on helped with that. Fab going off is a worry. Naby looking like he might be slightly injured is also a worry. But Reds keep rolling. Every time you think this team are dead, they just keep coming back.
Liverpool won the game. What more do you want? 2 down, 2 to go. Come on!
So, looks like we're going all the way then. And I wouldn't have it any other way. For the second Tuesday in a row, we went behind to a goal that, with another referee, wouldn't have been allowed. And we fought our way back. And we found ourselves hanging on against a team that we are much better than. But you know what? None of that matters. That part has already been forgotten because we got the 3 points on the board. But you know what won't be forgotten? The fact that this was a win for the group. And I'm so pleased that everybody got a chance to contribute. I mean, Matip, the goal machine was there again, but Minamino came in. Obviously the young boys, Curtis and Harvey. But it was one for the group. And in times when it's been a long season, you need everybody to come in and feel like they've contributed. In the last 2 games, we've really done that. Hey, it's just 2 more left to go. We are 2 games and the quadruple is still on.
Wasn't to be there, eh? I know. It was weird game. I can't even really analyse the game because I don't really remember what happened, but obviously I remember when Villa scores and how it changed the game, and This is always a problem when you've got to worry about someone else on the last day. It affects you too much, and we were really affected in a lot of this game. But I mean, just listen to that, man. How can you be disappointed? If we'd have not done our bit and Aston Villa had done us a favour, that hurt. Like, I was standing like literally just over there about 15 minutes ago, contemplating life and how the fuck we managed to throw that away. But we didn't. We won the game. We did what we had to do. Mo Salah got his goal. I'm not sure if that helps in the golden boot or not. But one kiss is on. We're going to Paris. Oh yeah. Excuse me.
A mix of emotions, like obviously disappointment. It's really hard to be critical because we didn't look like great going forward, but we created enough chances to score the goals, and in a normal game we would score those goals. But Courtois did what he had to do, and we couldn't. We switched off once, and that was all it took. It's the European Cup final. That's all it is. So yeah, I'm sad, I'm disappointed, but when I wake up tomorrow and we get to Liverpool and we can all celebrate this team properly, I'll feel better.